Hi, friends. Welcome back to TnT Talks. I'm your host, Christina TnT, and we are bringing you a 20-minute conversation with Jenny on how to ignite motivation through life and business as we maneuver through this COVID-19 crisis. Welcome, Jenny. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you fitting it into your schedule. I know you have a lot going on. So let's start with, why don't you tell everyone about your establishment and your profession?
Sure. So, as Christina said, my name is Jenny. I tend to go by Jenny Cooper just because it's got a pretty good ring to it, but just Jenny, of course, is fine. I am a dance studio owner, actually. I have owned the building or the location for about 3 years now, or coming on 3 years rather. It's over by Tibbers East, for those of you that know where that is. So on the northeast side of town. It's called The Space. It specializes in affordable adult dance classes. And then this year, we started doing something new, and we did start adding in kids classes as well. And again, along the lines of being affordable, right? So specifically with dancing, it can get really expensive if you really get into it with competitions and outfits and all of that kind of thing. And even kids classes. One issue that we seem to have in Bend is that every parent wants their child to dance. And so we actually don't have enough dance classes offered for children. But then when we do, it seems to be very expensive. I've always been on the philosophy of money should never be the reason that you can't dance. Because when I got into dance, I was very much not financially stable. And I had to scrimp and save and figure out how to really make this work, basically. And I don't want people to be in that situation ever. So our dance classes are very inexpensive and very welcoming. A lot of times we just end up doing scholarships or donation-based things, which is really kind of cool. You just have to reach out and let me know. We all love and accept anyone and everyone that walks in the door, which is absolutely fantastic. The minute you walk in, you're family. And you're pretty much stuck with us for life, whether you want to be or not.
I love it. I am so excited. I can't believe it's been 3 years already. I remember coming in when you were getting everything set up and putting in the floors and the mirrors and just seeing that dream come alive for you, because we've been friends for many years. And I know how passionate you are about this and providing it for the community. With that, and what happened recently with this COVID-19 shutdown, how did you transition? Because, I mean, you had to close your doors, right?
I did, yeah. So we tried to stay open for a little bit, doing private lessons at first, just the one-on-ones where there could still be social distancing. And typically one-on-ones, they come with someone that they live with. So the whole coupling thing isn't a big deal, and we didn't necessarily have to touch each other. But the fear was too great at first for everyone. So we then just kind of stopped completely. And it really did affect us. And, the interesting thing about it is that it affected everyone in the community, and it affected my fiance and I, of course, who run this studio, and it had a financial effect, but it actually had more of a mental effect on us than anything. We knew that we loved dance, but we didn't realize how much dance had been intertwined into our identity. And so then we found ourselves really trying to figure out who we are and who we were without dance. We found ourselves very lost, which was really kind of interesting. Because a side note to that, I haven't really been able to dance much, and I can teach a little, but not much. I have been going through some back issues for about 1.5 years, and luckily 6 weeks ago, I had my back surgery to where I can now dance again. Not at full force, but I can. But even just having the option of dancing taken away from me, to where before, I was in pain, but I could choose to dance for a couple of dances. Now I didn't even have the option, and so it was a really interesting time to actually figure out who we were without dance in our lives. We had to come to the reality that dance may not be in our lives for a long time. and when you've been doing it, like I've been doing this for 7 years, both teaching and just dancing. And when you've been doing it 5 days a week, at least 5 days a week for 7 years, and then all of a sudden you don't do it at all for even 2 weeks, that really feels like a lifetime. So that's been more of the interesting struggle for me.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you were actually able to have your surgery. So maybe it lined up well that you were able to have it during the shutdown and go through that recovery.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, it actually worked out really well. What ended up happening, my symptoms were getting so bad that St. Charles finally approved my case. And they approved it about a week before the ban. So it did actually work out well, before the ban was lifted, I should say. It did work out well, though, because I couldn't dance anyway, with the studio being closed. So it gave me the opportunity to really heal and be able to come back in a better capacity than I had been for the community when I knew that we would be able to open again.
That's good. So aside from that, I mean, what other challenges did you face? Not being able to, do you feel like now that we're reopening, are you seeing an influx of clients and a recovery from that as well, from the shutdown?
Yeah, so of course there was the financial aspect of it, right? There's always that part of it. Well, how are we going to pay the bills? What vendors do we need to work with to see if they're willing to work with us on paying the bills, because we are all closed down. So that gave me a really interesting insight, to talk to my property management company and the utility companies, and can we pay the bills without taking out a loan or trying to get a grant? I was blessed with one of the grants versus the loans, which is what is helping me pay rent right now while we get back on our feet. And now that we've been open for, it's been about 3 weeks now. Yeah, this week is 3 weeks. Surprisingly, I've had a lot of new students, which is fantastic. That was the last thing I was expecting. I was expecting a lot of the existing community to come back, which they have, but a lot of new students have been coming in. And I think people are they're ready to start going back out into the wild, so to speak, and just start to get back to life as they knew it, or partially as they knew it. And so I've definitely seen we're about 50% of class attendance from what we were before COVID, which is honestly a lot better than what I thought was going to happen. I've found that some community members are still really playing it very safe. And they're not quite ready to come out and socialize yet, which I can totally understand and respect. The best I can do is just be here with open arms and say, look, we welcome you back whenever you're ready. We miss you. Come join us when you can. And then others are like, yeah, let's do it. I want to see all the people and do all the things. And so then there's that side of it too.
So did you transition at all online to teaching online or providing online courses, especially maybe for that younger audience, for the children who are out of school? Is that something you might consider moving forward now and maybe having something available as a course?
It's something that I had bounced back and forth with. I did it once for a free beginning West Coast swing lesson online. It was definitely interesting to try to do that. I found myself rushing through the lesson in about 20 minutes when we normally take about 45, because I didn't have anyone to interact with. It was just me talking. So I could just go boom, boom, boom and throw it through. I did it once, and then I had my surgery. So I wasn't able to do it at that point. And then we opened back up. So that part worked out really well. The rest of the instructors that I have within my studio haven't been interested in doing anything online. I did reach out to them after probably about 3 weeks of being closed, seeing if that's something that they wanted to do. And it's just not quite their style. So we just didn't pursue that. As far as the kids' classes go, our kid instructor, Jessica Curry, she has 3 children of her own that she all of a sudden had at home all the time.
Yeah.
So she also did not have time. I think she did one Zoom online, and it was okay, but it was just really difficult with the kids and organizing it with the parents and all that. It took a lot more.
Okay.
So we just decided to kind of wait and just do in person.
Good. Well, it's important that you guys tried. You tried something new, and I definitely understand, being, I love dance, and that one-on-one and in person and the atmosphere and energy that you get from the people around you is so hard to you can't get that through a screen, no matter what.
Well, and part of our main goal in these classes for both the kids and the adults is to bring the fun out in dance and to show them that we have just as much fun as they do. Even if it's their first time in there, we're still going to have a blast dancing with them, and so that's difficult to show on the screen. I can sit here and smile and say, yeah, let's have fun, but I have no clue if they're actually having fun.
So you mentioned dealing with some mental struggles as you went through not only your business being shut down temporarily, but the physical recovery that you were going through. What are some ways that you managed to maintain your sanity and pull through that? Because right now, unfortunately, we are seeing a huge spike in depression and other mental illnesses come up. So I'd love to know what your resources were.
Yeah. So, it was really interesting. I had a lot of time to literally lay around, while I was recovering and things like that. And I really just started reflecting on my own. I continued to do my counseling, which helped a lot to be able to talk to someone who doesn't actually really know me other than the weekly visit that I had with her. That helped a lot to really see different perspectives of things. And then sitting down with my fiance, we sat down and figured out, okay, what do we enjoy about dance? What didn't we enjoy about dance? What do we enjoy about our life now without it? And that was actually a really big breakthrough for us, is figuring out, can we enjoy this life without dance? Because we don't know what it's going to be like anymore. We don't know if we're going to get to go to events and competitions, until probably next year, different things like that. And that's been a huge part. So really, we just kind of sat down and figured out. And for me, a big part of my personality is being on the go. Anyone who knows me, including very much you, Christina. Yeah. It's like, if I'm sitting down, that's weird. Like I can sit through a movie, maybe, right? But then I got to be up and going and moving and doing something. I've always got my hand in 10 different projects. And that's what I thrive on. That's what I do. That's part of my personality. So what I did before the surgery, I found other ways to stay busy, which then in turn made it really work for me, because then I got to figure out, okay, this is who I am. I love this stuff. I love helping people. I actually picked up DoorDash and Instacart just to make extra money. But it was knowing that I was helping people and staying busy, being productive all at the same time. And that was a really big piece of me that I'm now bringing into the studio. I was before, but even more so now. And I look at it a little bit differently now because of that.
Yeah. I want to point out, I think the biggest thing that I heard you say was communication. Communication with your support system. Professional help is important with your sphere, your partner, your family, and really talking about all of the possibilities, the good, the bad, and we need to really think about our normal is going to change. No matter what happens, everything has changed from this moment forward. People are realizing how much they can work remotely, and maybe they weren't happy with their lives, so they're going to start making changes. Everything is changing, so talk about it. Get the conversation going. Absolutely.
And communication was absolutely huge. And kind of going back to a little bit, but it piggybacks off of what you just said about, what our life is going to be like and the communication with that and what it's going to be like going forward. At one point, Spencer and I sat down and said, if we're being honest with each other, it's actually been nice not having to go to the studio 4 to 5 days a week, or 4 to 6 days a week. It's actually nice having our evenings to just do whatever the heck we wanted to, and so then that was a really interesting path to go down, because both Spencer and I knew that we won't give up the space. We love it too much. It's just, that's not in the cards for us. But for us to sit and honestly say, yeah, a part of us is not dreading, but a part of us is like, oh man, we actually have to go back to our busy schedules now, and how are we going to transition into that? And being honest with ourselves of, yeah, some downtime after work was actually not so bad. I was always doing something, but he loved the downtime more than I did.
So while you had that downtime, did you read any good books or listen to podcasts that you want to share?
Yeah, so I didn't really read a whole lot of books, but I have been listening to some podcasts. So 2 of the podcasts that I've really been absolutely loving, I am pretty much obsessed with Dave Ramsey right now.
Yes.
So I listen to the Dave Ramsey show all the time. And that was actually something that helped me cope, ironically. And the reason being is because usually I'm listening to music, right? Because I'm a dancer. Well, because I couldn't dance, every time I listened to music, it made me sad because I want to get up and dance. So listening to a podcast, you can't dance to that. I mean, I guess you could try to find a beat in someone's voice, but that's weird. So listening, and Spencer and I are on Dave Ramsey's program of getting out of debt. So that's also a problem. A path that we're going down. And then also cash flowing our wedding inside of this while paying off our debt, and so listening to other people's struggles and knowing that we're not alone in that struggle, which was really great. But then I still wanted to maintain the business aspect of things as well, not just the personal debt journey, which is huge. And it's very valid. However, I wanted to maintain the business side of it too. And so there's another Dave Ramsey personality. Her name is Christy Wright. Yes. And she does Business Boutique. And I'm actually a part of the Business Boutique Academy now. They had it on sale for $99 for 6 months. And I said, yeah, this is absolutely worth that investment. Even though I'm not making money in my business right now, that needs to be a thing. It's normally $250. So I took advantage of that. And now I'm in that academy and I'm learning other people's business ideas, seeing their growth and their struggles. And it's been fantastic. So I will listen to her show. I'll listen to Dave's show. And then I am a part of the academy, like the actual academy is on Facebook. So she does live trainings and all that kind of stuff. And I listen to it there as well.
She's got a great book. It's called The Business Boutique.
Yeah.
So I would just tie right into that. I've been to her event. It's amazing.
Oh,
I absolutely, yeah. And of course, anyone who follows me knows how much I believe in that financial journey that Dave talks about too. I've done his program and another program. Mm-hmm. And he was offering 2 weeks free of Financial Peace University. So whoever's watching,
he still is.
Be sure, yeah, go check. Depending on the time that you're watching this recording, it could be over, but absolutely make that investment in yourself.
Yeah, it's totally been, I mean, I've been listening to it and I'm a little behind on the podcasts, but as of a couple of weeks ago, they already had 90,000 people sign up for this free trial.
I hope that what comes from this is, I mean, obviously a lot of things, but specifically, in my strong belief in financial freedom is I hope people realize they need to be better prepared for anything,
yes.
For family emergencies, medical emergencies, global pandemics, or, anything.
Yeah. And I think that, that also helped the mentality of this. So Spencer and I was not on the Dave Ramsey program with my business yet, and I'm still working on that. We've been doing it on the personal side, but with the business side, Spencer and I were blessed and lucky enough that some extra money had been rolling in right before this happened. So when I went into this pandemic, I can proudly say I have not once financially been freaked out.
Good.
We were closed for 2 months and I didn't freak out because I was able to make it work, and I was able to, work with the vendors involved with paying my rent and all of that kind of stuff and figuring it out. And, I think that really helped the mentality as well. And when I got that grant, like I said, that has really helped as a buffer to make sure that I can still stay open for everybody. Because right now is when it's actually going to be more difficult, now that we're transitioning back in, because it is just a 50-50 thing of if whether people are going to show up or not. And until we get into phase 2, I'm still limited on 25 people a dance.
Crook County just opened to phase 2 today, so you might check and see. I don't know if Deschutes County did.
Yeah, Deschutes and Jefferson are still in review, and it's supposedly a 7 to 14 day review period. So we'll see. I'm hoping in the next week or so we will get approved, and then I can, going from 25 to 50 for my size of studio, that means I can pretty much lift all restrictions in the sense of people attending.
Yeah.
I'll still have other things in place, but attendance I can lift, which will be great. And that will also help the stress of things.
Jenny, it's been so nice to catch up with you. We need to do this more often.
We really do.
Well, I know that you have things to get back to, and we are at our time today. Where can people find you if they want to get more information, especially those who are watching locally to Central Oregon?
Absolutely. So there are several different ways that you can get a hold of me. First and foremost, my cell phone. So I get my cell phone out like candy. It is all over. You can call or text me. A lot of times I can respond to a text message versus a phone call faster. And that phone number is 541-401-1635. Just say who you are, or you can just start talking to me and I'll start talking back. That's what I do. And then as far as the full schedule of the dance studio for both kids and adults, you can reach out on our website, which is all one word, thespacebend.com. And that shows everything, including all of our instructors. We've got about 12 different instructors now inside of our studio. Yeah.
You've grown so much. Gosh, I'm so proud of you. And again, thank you for being here today.
You're
Everyone,
welcome. My
be
pleasure.
sure to reach out, go see what she's got going on, especially if you're local to the Central Oregon area. Once travel restrictions are lifted, come over, come check it out. And
Yes.
be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you can catch our next interview with business owners and entrepreneurs throughout Oregon. We'll see you around.
See you later.